This is another question someone has put directly to me in my DM, and I have decided to answer him with a video. Now, this is what I'm going to do. If you put out a question in the comment section and I see the question to be very educative and very meaningful, I will make a video with it. So if you have any question regarding this topic we are discussing, mental health and what have you, any question you have, just put it in the comment section. I will read it and then decide or see if I can make a video, because your comment or your question might be the next video we will shoot. So keep bringing in your questions under the comment section. Now let's go to the question. His name is George Freeman. George Freeman. His question is, good evening, doctor. There is this question I want to ask. Please do well to give me an answer. Okay, George. Doctor, is diabetes, or can diabetes make a man to become weak? He said something. Can diabetes make a man to become weak? If yes, why? So he asked this question. George Freeman want to know whether diabetes can make a man to become weak in the other room, whether diabetes can make a man to perform, abysmally in the other room. I think that is the import of his question. So George, if you are watching me, please, this is your answer. I have decided not to answer you directly. I made you a promise that I will answer you in a video. So this is your answer. Yes, diabetes can make a man to become weak in the other room. No two ways about it. Especially if the person has been suffering from it for far too long, for a very long time, and has been on diabetic medication for very long time. It can weaken his boot, and it can make him very, very weak in the other room. And this is the reason, because George says, if yes, why? So I'm going to give you why. The reason is simple. Diabetes is a condition whereby the blood glucose is way higher than the limited requirement. It's beyond what is required in the body. So anytime the sugar in the blood exceeds the limited amount, the limited ceiling, the limited portion, such a person is referred to as diabetic. There are two types of diabetes. We have type 1 diabetes, we have type 2 diabetes. But majority of the people are suffering from type 2 diabetes, which is the insulin resistant diabetes. The type 1 diabetes is insulin dependent. As for the type 1, mostly such people are born with it. The type 1 diabetics are normally born with the condition, because as for them, their pancreas is not working. So when a pancreas is not working right from the word go, there is no way the pancreas will be able to produce insulin. And it is the responsibility of this insulin to what? To drag all to sieve out all the sugar or the glucose out from the blood, and then give it to, or circulate it or distribute it to the cell, and then the cell tissues. So when this pancreas is not working, or is adamant right from the word go, such people normally depend on what? On injection, insulin injection, external insulin injection anytime they eat. That is type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetics, their system produces, or their pancreas produces insulin all right, but the system is so polluted, is so confused to the extent that the system doesn't work, or doesn't respond to the insulin, doesn't use the insulin into doesn't put the insulin into a very good use. So the system resists the insulin. So when such a condition occur, we call it insulin resistance diabetes, aka type 2 diabetes. Now, the type 2 diabetes, or the diabetes in general, has so many complications, or have about 4 or 5 branches. The first branch of diabetes or complication of diabetes is diabetic retinopathy, where the diabetes will destroy the retina of the eye. So mostly people who are suffering from diabetes, most of them or some of them normally suffer from blurred vision. Some of them normally end up suffering from eye problem. We call it diabetic retinopathy. And then we have diabetic cardiomyopathy. Diabetic cardiomyopathy has something to do with the heart. Anytime you hear the word cardio, we mean heart. So when a person is suffering from any form of, or when a person is suffering from diabetes, the heart also will be in trouble, or the heart will also be affected. So when the heart gets affected, we call it diabetic cardiomyopathy. And then we have diabetic nephropathy. Diabetic nephropathy has something to do with the nephrons of the kidney. Everybody has 2 kidneys, and each kidney is having over a million of nephrons. When we say nephrons are like sieve. They filter out, or nephrons are like filters. They filter out bad toxins, bad urea, and bad things out from the blood. So the nephrons, washes the blood and then sieve out the unwanted substances, the unwanted toxins out from the body through the urea, through the urethra, through the bladder, and then it will come out as a urine. You understand? Or sweat. So that is diabetic nephropathy. So when a person is suffering from diabetes and the nephrons are affected, such a condition is called diabetic nephropathy, because the diabetes, the excess sugar will destroy the nephrons, the very nephrons which are supposed to sieve out the system, which are supposed to clean the blood. The nephrons are going to be destroyed. Therefore, eventually, such a person will suffer from kidney failure and the rest. So we call it diabetic nephropathy. And then we have diabetic neuropathy. That is where the problem of the weakness is coming. That is where men are affected. Diabetic neuropathy. Diabetic neuropathy has everything to do with the nerves. So people who are suffering from diabetes, most of them will complain that they are not having sensation in the tips of their hands, in the tips of their toes. They are having excess heat under their feet, their veins, and so on and so forth. So diabetic neuropathy affects the nerves and then the veins. It prevents blood from flowing through and or it prevents blood circulation. So when a person is suffering from diabetic neuropathy, such a person will experience improper blood circulation, inefficient blood circulation. So that is where the problem, that is where men, comes in. The issue of men who are weak in the other room and are with diabetes, that is where their issue comes in. I hope you understand. So to answer Mr. George, that is the answer. Diabetes can affect your weakness or your game in the other room due to diabetic neuropathy. I've just given you the background. So then the neuropathy is where men are affected. And that is number 1. Number 2, aside the neuropathy affecting the man, and it is likely, these complications of diabetes are relative. It is not possible that one person with a diabetes can go through all these complications. It depends. Some go through only neuropathy and only retinopathy, their eyes. Some are unfortunate to experience 2 complications. But mostly, you are likely to suffer from one of the complications if you have a diabetes. So you might be having diabetes, yet your heart is okay, but your eyes are affected, which is retinopathy. You might be having diabetes, yet your eyes will not be affected, your heart will not be affected, perhaps your kidney will be affected, your nephrons. Some people are fortunate to be experienced or to be suffering from only one of these complications. Some people too are unfortunate to experience from or to suffer from virtually all the complications. You understand? So such people are in a grave danger. You understand? So it could be that some men may not necessarily suffer from neuropathy. So they are okay. They have diabetes, yet they can power in the other room. But what also makes them weak is the medication. So if the neuropathy doesn't make you weak, the medication will make you weak. So if you are a man and you have diabetes, you are not out of the wood. If you are a man and you have diabetes, yet you haven't yet suffered from diabetic neuropathy, where you will suffer from improper blood circulation, which will affect you in the other room. If you haven't yet suffered from neuropathy, still you are not out of the wood, simply because you will be on a medication, and this medication will help in weakening your boot, weakening your thing. So at the end of the day, you may not be able to perform very well in the other room. So I think Mr. George, I have answered you. If you are watching me, or if you watch this video later, I think I have really answered you, and I've given you the reasons why people who are suffering from diabetes are automatically weak in the other room. So if you have diabetes and you realize that your performance in the other room is not going on well, please, what I want you to do is that try and look for natural remedy, and then heal yourself of the diabetes first, before you can go around and look for any medication that will make you strong. You understand? Yes. So please try and copy this, and I believe that this question have helped you. You have learned something from answering this question. And if you have similar question, don't hesitate by dropping it under the comment section. Maybe your question might be our next video. Try and copy the link of this video and share to friends and family and people around you. And do not forget also to click on to the subscribe button, and then be part of this family. And above all, click onto the notification button and select all, so that you will be the first person to receive notification anytime we bring you videos such as this. I will see you again in the next one. Bye.